Hello and welcome back to Downunder The Ring podcast, episode 43. I got it right this time. Today, we've got some special stuff for you, including, we said it last week, this is going to be a pretty AEW-centric episode. We're also talking Bloodline stuff. And not just that, but the AEW venue stuff for Australia, for Grand Slam. And if you stick around at the end, we've got another interview that Phid did. But on Phid, how you going?
Not bad, dude. I tell you what, it's kind of a lie me saying it's not bad, because at the moment what's the time here? It's 9:30 p.m. in Sydney, and it's like 30 degrees, and I'm sweating like fuck.
We got it pretty good here.
I've had to turn my aircon off because we're doing the recording.
Oh yeah, same. My one's right there, and now it's powering the light because otherwise you'd be able to hear it from outer space. But soon we will have not only a brand new studio area for what I do on this side, because I have to move, but we will also have the computer sorted out. Hopefully in the next week or so, that's all getting put in. And then we're going to see a lot more content. I'll tell you that right now. Expect to see a lot more Downunder The Ring stuff. Expect to see a lot more Warship stuff. We're really starting to kick into full gear.
2025 is genuinely going to be the return of the Warship in so many ways.
Oh, look, I know last time I got in trouble. All right, I'm trying my hardest. Last time I got in trouble for flexing my pecs too much. I got told it was a distraction. So I'm really, really trying to hold off on it at the moment. It's not my fault. I got a new toy back again. I haven't had them for a while. They're back, and now we're doing that. So look, you just have to put up with it. It's okay. I can't stop it. No, you're just moving your body.
Oh,
look at this, making the OG logo bounce.
hey. Link in description.
Link in the description. OG nerd, bounce. But yes, what I said as well, we'll be kicking things into full gear. We're also talking a lot about full gear. I'm actually pretty excited for it as well. For me, I've had a pretty good deal. Not that you ask. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I've had a pretty good week this week. We had a lot of big things sort of just peek their head over the horizon. So much more on that so very soon. Very excited for all of it. And yeah, look, honestly, we're in a real good spot right now. So it's one of those, it's the fucking, I'm sorry, you're going to have to worry about that, indie wrestling bullshit of, hey, watch this space, guys. You know, it really is that in a lot of ways. Yeah. I hate that. Or 2025 is going to be my year. Oh, and let me get my list of wrestlers I want to wrestle. It's like, it's that vibe.
You got to do the notepad with the hands on the
table.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. My plan's going to be real specific, and you're going to all get really introduced to them very soon. But hey, let's not talk about what's to come. Let's talk about what's been going on. And let's start, before we jump into the AEW thing, yep. I'm standing at the moment in the standing desk. By the time we get to the AEW bit, I might be on the ground asleep. I might be awake. Who knows? But to get to the AEW stuff, look, we're going to get there. We're going to do it. It's fine. I promise. I'm only joking. I don't hate it at all. But what I really want to talk about this week is I was correct.
You were correct. I was absolutely wrong.
My prediction, for those who don't remember, is last week I said that the fifth member of OG Bloodline would be none other than Phil Brooks, CM Punk.
Or as I'm calling him from now on, is Philippe Law Brooks Uso.
Now, can you cross your hands and do the thing at the same time? I wonder. Can we go...
Philippe Law, yeah.
Bit of both. Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind that. That's good. But yeah, it's awesome. I'm really excited for it. I really hope the second half of my prediction comes true, though, because, yeah, this CM Punk thing is great. One thing that I've been seeing a lot of discourse about at the moment is that CM Punk is really generational with the Shield, right? Massive feud with Dean Ambrose, John Moxley.
Well, he's responsible for the call-up of the Shield.
Exactly right. So, and that's where it began. And then you got your big feud with Mox. You got your big feud with Seth Rollins. And now you're getting a little bit of the old,
Oh,
with Roman Reigns. So
that's actually interesting. I didn't even think about that. So cross-brand in the last 2 years, he's interacted with all the Shield.
every member of the Shield, and that's crazy to me because that that is also part of it that's making me go, "Ooh, is that intentional?" Because now are we heading into a situation where my prediction of Drew coming out is wrong, and really what we're going to see, and I'm not saying this is canon, don't canonize me here, but will we see CM Punk turn on Roman Reigns right at the end? And then Paul Heyman say, for CM Punk instead, we're doing these Jacob Fatu's, I love you, Roman. Right, that.
But
Maybe,
I love you, Punk.
I love you, Punk.
I love you, Filippo.
Well, we could see a bunch of turns. That's the thing, is because I think that no matter what, I would really like to see it start to shatter. I don't like the idea of these two separate teams anymore. I think that if you shatter one half of it, you got to shatter both. So I think that at the end we should have a complete discourse of it.
I tell you what I have been thinking about a lot and reading a lot and seeing a lot over the last few days since Punk's return over the weekend is a lot of people pointing out where it makes a lot of sense in the history of WWE. It's not just the Shield thing. It's also the Paul Heyman connection, which you mentioned last week. But also there's the issues that we've got, which I love that WWE released a video today, which was everybody that was in Survivor Series reacting to CM Punk's return.
Yep.
And we had in there Sammy saying, I wasn't really happy about it. Me and Punk don't like each other.
Yeah.
And it's like that going into this weekend is awesome because you're also offline setting the tone there that, these two don't like each other. And then, of course, you've got Roman and CM Punk with the whole needle mover shtick from when Punk was over in AEW.
And look, we've spoke about a lot of it before because the thing is that with the Punk return, they're not showing us new footage. They're showing us footage that we've seen all before. It's really just to remind us of how much Punk affected the world when he came back.
Yeah.
Now, all of those elements are going to come into play at Survivor Series, and we're really going to start to see it, which makes me think it lends further credence to the fact that right now is what we've been asking for since CM Punk came back. Right now is the heel turn of the century. Turning on Roman right now with how high Roman Reigns is, destroying all of that hard work.
Yeah.
Imagine if the bloodline didn't split. But what happened is Punk wins, and then Roman is forced to acknowledge Solo. And that's the final thing. Because he's like, we get some classic, like, Brian Pillman, Stone Cold, like that kind of vibes where maybe he's going to kidnap someone and he's like, acknowledge Solo or else. You know what I mean? Like one of those situations. Because I can see Punk, like, if he needed to, if he wanted to, this is a real good jumping point to turn him super heel. Because right now, Roman's about the most face you can be in the company.
Apart from Cody.
Oh, yeah, of course. The white meat baby face, Cody Rhodes himself. But as far as being not the face of the company, but a face, Roman comes out, that pop is ridiculous, and that's what we get every time he comes to the ring.
Correct.
So right now is the time. If you're going to do it, it's a perfect landing spot for it. That being said, I would really still like to see Drew get involved a little bit more out of this Punk face thing because I enjoy cheering for him. I forget how much I enjoy booing him, though, and I would kind of want to see that happen as well.
Since his return at AEW, I've been saying this as my favorite Punk is heel Punk.
Yeah.
There's chip on his shoulder, asshole, heel Punk. My favorite Punk, as I've said numerous times before, was Straight Edge Society Punk, and I don't think we can go back to that, but I want chip on his shoulder, asshole Punk.
Yeah, and look, there's a perfect avenue for it here.
Because I think he was working his best when he's working character.
Yes, no. So I think there's a lot of legs in that as a concept for sure. Do we have any idea for predictions as yet as to what we think is going to happen at Survivor Series? Are we going to see the good guys win, or are we not?
Who are the good guys?
That's the thing. Because right now, Is Solo really doing anything wrong aside from because he's trying to rebuild the family, right? Under him, it's under his rule, under his law. But at the end of the day, he's still trying to bring the family back together. He said it in that impassioned promo on SmackDown. He's like, I will welcome you all back with loving arms.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you. All you have to do is acknowledge me. And if you don't, you'll die where you stand.
Yeah.
So really, at the end of the day, is he doing the wrong thing? Who knows?
Exactly. And that's why I find it really interesting. Who is the bad guy in this situation? This is actually, and I've said this a few times as well over the last couple of years, is when it comes to the Bloodline story, I love just letting it go and seeing where it goes. Like we've attempted to predict numerous times where this story is going to go.
Yeah.
The amount of times both you and I have been wrong.
Yeah.
Happily
wrong. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, speaking of happily wrong, right now everyone's on the super big high because the other thing that we saw go down, obviously, other than Punk joining the team, was we had the Bloodline and the OG Bloodline in the ring. And just before Roman speaks, we get a ladies and gentlemen, and the crowd go ballistic because Paul Heyman is back.
Now, can I quickly, before we go into this, I really want to give Roman his flowers for this because this dude has gotten so good at what he does with the facials and the subtlety over the last few years, and his genuine look of shock and then joy that he gave. But it wasn't like a massive smile or a massive exaggerated. It was all so subtle, but it was brilliant.
It was honestly just super well done. And like he has got to a point now where he totally understands, he knows how to do it. And like, that's perfect for where we're at now. Like that is, as far as where he needs to be, because he needs to be at the top of this whole thing. Right. We didn't quite know where he'd fit in. We thought, hey, when Roman comes back, he'll be a part-timer, he'll be easing his way out of everything.
He's easily doing more dates now than he was
as
before
champion.
Mania.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 1,000,000,000,000,000%. So, like, it's a crazy time at the moment to be all part of it. You know what I mean? Like just to be part of wrestling in general.
But yeah, Heyman.
Back to Heyman. Sorry. So, as far as Heyman goes, it's like, so we see him and we're really happy, and he doesn't really give any explanation. There's no real exposition. There's nothing else. He just kind of comes out and he's like, hey, I didn't think 4-on-5 sounds right. Maybe I'm stupid, but I think 5-on-5 is good. And then CM Punk come out. There was nothing about it. No where I've been, what I've been doing. He said, I got put through a table at Madison Square Garden, and that's it. Like there was nothing else to it. Now, the thing that I find interesting, and the internet has also found really interesting, is that the wise man didn't show up in his usual full suit. He showed up in a suit that was very eerily reminiscent of what Solo Sikoa wears or has worn in recent times, which is the black suit with the red here on the chest and
a red t-shirt.
And a red t-shirt. Like, it's obviously a high neck, expensive, like good t-shirt, but it's still a red t-shirt.
Like it's a Valentino t-shirt or some shit.
Oh, absolutely. But that is like pound for pound the exact same thing that Solo would wear. He also had a really strange look on his face when he was standing there watching Punk and Roman do their moment.
Now that's the bit that I thought was really weird, where you've got Roman questioning what the hell are you doing here, and Punk being like, I'm here to help you. What's your problem? And Heyman is joyous that these two are having a go at each other.
Yeah, because it's like, I understand if it's like it's a situation where like Roman's been taken off, but like Heyman's not like, it's okay. Trust, baby, trust. Is none of that. He's just kind of like, like it's really weird. I'm sweaty because I'm real overweight and I got into the ring, but like it was like really like menacing, like it needed the JoJo, the Dio lines coming up on the outside of his face because it was menacing.
At first, I thought it was just a joy that his two favorites were together finally.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was weird because it wasn't just happy; it was creepy.
His two favorites that we're allowed to talk about at the moment.
Hey, but no, it was just creepy. Like you could say it's happy, but at the same time, it's like, you know,
It's menacing. It's what you said.
it
It's
was.
menacing.
It was like I'm holding a puppy.
Yeah.
Like it was like, yeah, it was kind of too much. So the current discourse is, you know, what's Paul Heyman's real stake in the situation?
Yeah.
Is he going to turn on him? Where are we going with it? I'm interested to see. We have no answers right now. I actually don't want answers for the minute as well.
Dude, this has been the awesome part of WWE for the last couple of years. Has been the fact we don't always know where it's going to go, and that's amazing.
I'm happy to watch it play out.
Yeah.
I'm happy to watch it play out. I'm in for it. I'm all in for it.
Wrestling is dope.
Wrestling is dope. But now, hey, ready to switch gears.
Hey.
Let's talk about AEW for a minute, because I don't know how much we can talk about, but you posted a picture today from our Tony Storm video.
Yes, it was. Okay.
You go ahead.
I was going to say, we'll go right back to the start on this one here. So this entire story started about 2 weeks ago, before we recorded the last episode. And it was actually a couple of our listeners had commented that they were unable to purchase tickets to Grand Slam Australia. To which I was like, that's odd. There are tickets available. So I actually went to the website and had a look myself on Ticketek, and I was like, sure enough, could not purchase tickets. It showed how many tickets were sold out, but I could not purchase tickets. Like I said, this is 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It actually, so I reached out to TEG, and I reached out to AEW's PR and basically said, hey, people are unable to buy tickets. Is there anything you can tell me? What's going on? Is this just an issue?
Yeah.
I got no response from their PR, which is funny because I'd just been talking to their PR the day beforehand about the interviews that we've got later on in the show. And TEG just ignored my message, which is weird because TEG is actually a client of mine in my day job. So to not get a response is loud.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very strange. Now, this is actually where I reached out to our mate, SRS, Sean Ross Sapp. And I
From
said
Fightful Select?
From Fightful, yes.
From Fightful?
Yes. And I actually mentioned it to him, and I was like, hey, dude, this is the situation. I've reached out to my contacts, and I'm getting stonewalled. I know you're a bit more connected on the inside. Can you find me out something?
Yeah.
Can you find out what's going on here? So he did. He had a look into it, and that's where we got the first inkling that it looks like there's going to be a venue change for AEW Grand Slam Australia. And he tweeted as much, and that was really interesting. I then got a DM saying, hey, there's going to be an announcement in 24 hours' time. That's what I woke up to this morning.
Yeah.
Was in the next 24 hours, there is going to be an announcement of a new venue. Then this afternoon, this is where we knew something was up, was on Instagram. Our previous interviews that we've done with Tony Storm and with Paul White, they had been collaborated with AEW and with TEG Sport. And within, half an hour, both companies had revoked their collaboration. So it was no longer appearing on their feeds. It was only going to be appearing on ours.
Yeah.
Which, fine. They're allowed to do that. But it was definitely that first clue. And I think, was it about half an hour after that was when we got the confirmation that AEW Grand Slam from my brain. AEW Grand Slam is in fact moving from Suncorp Stadium, and it's going to be going to the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, which is going from 55,000 potential seats at Suncorp to now 15.
I think it's like
13.5 thousand at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, which looks like a great venue. It's the same venue WWE run when they're in town.
Yeah, okay, but my question to that is I understand ticket sales are low. What happens to the people who purchase tickets to go to Suncorp? Like, because that's a way different experience. And I'm playing devil's advocate here because I know we have contact with AEW and I know that we work with them. But my query is for the people who have paid for that experience versus this experience, what happens?
Yeah, very good question. So we're going to get news, or everybody's going to be getting told within the next 2 weeks what is happening with their tickets. So everyone's got an email today saying that they will be issued new tickets to the new venue.
Yeah.
As well as I think there might be an option to get a refund as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to those people that paid for floor seating in a stadium, and now they're going to be floor seating in an arena potentially.
It was like, hey, let's go. We'll do Downunder The Ring live. We'll do it at the MCG, guys. Get your tickets now. $2,000 to get on the floor level. It's going to be awesome. But actually, we're going to go to the Dragonfly restaurant in Melbourne, the Chinese food restaurant, and the tickets are worth about $20. But don't worry, $2,000, you'll have floor seats at the Chinese restaurant. Yeah. Like, that's my issue with it. You know,
Or what was the other location that was proposed was substitute Betson's backyard.
Yeah, look, yeah, exactly right. And look, if I'm going to the Dragonfly, I want to at least get the beef and black bean, right? Like I want to be at least getting fed. So my question is if they're going to a much smaller venue, am I going to end up getting my value? Am I getting my beef and black bean from there? Or am I just going to, hey, fucking... because we had to change venues and we're already eating money on this. It's not the consumer's fault.
Yeah, it's definitely not the consumer's fault. Here's the thing, though. I think an arena show is going to be a better experience.
Oh, yeah.
Where I feel sorry for is if anybody who had the floor seats further out from the ring that are potentially now going to be in the stands.
People with sensory issues. People who wanted to be further away for whatever reason, that sucks for them. And even not even just that, but what about the people who said, I can't afford to go to the big stadium elimination chamber show because it's in fucking Perth.
Yeah.
But hey, it's on my backyard here in Brisbane. That's so cool. I've never been to a stadium show for wrestling in my life. I had an opportunity to go, but I didn't go. And now this one's here, and now we're going to an arena.
Here's the thing. They needed to make this call.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, they needed to make this call because they were not selling enough tickets.
And I don't disagree with any of it. I think that that's the right move. I'm speaking from a devil's advocate point of view for the fans, you know?
Yeah. And you're right as well.
Yeah.
But to talk about it a bit more positively from
please, let's do that.
I think like I said, the experience is going to be far better in the arena.
You're getting that
so loud.
That real close, real intimate experience.
Exactly. And look, we were both at the stadium in Perth.
Yeah.
And if you had one of those top seats, you were squinting.
But we were lucky because we were in the media booth, right? So we got TVs.
Yeah.
You could see directly to the ring from where we were. It was awesome. Yeah. But if you were next to us,
if you were in the seats underneath us,
seats above or below,
you weren't seeing anything.
You ain't seeing shit.
Yeah.
Like you're there for the music and the fireworks.
Exactly. And the vibes. The vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I'd have been too drunk if I was in the crowd. So.
So the atmosphere is going to be amazing. It's going to be closer. It's going to be a way better experience.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, I still have questions as to why they even chose to do a stadium in Australia. And I have reached out to see if we can talk to Tony Khan. We are obviously not on his priority list.
No. I spent half the fucking podcast bagging the shit out of him.
No, but the questions I have are genuine questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that Tony Khan is a data man.
Yeah.
Right? So what data did he have that said that going to a stadium was going to be the right decision for Australia?
This is no longer worth it versus...
No, what made
beforehand.
it say that it was worth it beforehand?
Yeah, okay.
Because AEW is not an easy product to watch in Australia.
No.
You've got to have either ESPN and watch it on tape delay, or if you want to watch it live, you've got to have Fight.
Or you've got to really like it and really find your way around it.
Yeah, so it is not an easy show to watch here.
No.
So...
Sorry.
I don't think they've got the viewership.
No.
And therefore, they were always going to find it really hard to sell out 55,000 tickets. And WWE couldn't even sell out Optus Stadium in Perth.
No,
Like, that was
absolutely right.
3/4 full.
Yeah, and that's true. It's fair. But I think I figured it out.
What's that?
I know why. Now, I work, for those who don't know, I work in education. I work with college level students with my outside of this job. I figured it out because they teach me, right? Here you go. I think I know why they thought it would work. It's because they got the Rizzler on, you see, and he's doing these ones here. He's doing these ones here. He's doing these ones here. He's pushing his tongue up to the top of his mouth, pushing his jaw out. He's getting the mewing on. Like, he's the Wizard of Oz. So at this point, like, they're very much so. It's such a strange thing to me to reach into that side, the TikTok like world, and bring someone into it, like Big Justice as well, like to bring them into the wrestling thing. I've got to think that some of that has got to do with this.
Look, I don't know how you compare that, how you connect it to Australia, but in saying that, it is a good data conversation because, dude, these guys pulled the numbers.
You think it matters if the Rizzler's in America or Australia? No, of course not.
Oh no, they have to book the Rizzler versus the Wiggles or something
for it to count here.
Yeah.
The Rizzler versus a reanimated Steve. I'm not going to say the surname because I don't want to be mean, disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, the Rizzler versus Bluey. There
you go. That's better.
Well, it's in Bluey's hometown.
Yeah, it is.
But to go on to move on to Full Gear, there's actually a really good data conversation as well because these guys have the third most watched video on social media in wrestling. In the entire of wrestling.
It's taking so much energy not to throw the headset and just walk away for a minute. And it's not even that. It's just, I've said the Rizzler too many times.
But that alone is a perfect reason to book these guys on the show.
Absolutely.
I actually would argue that they should have been on the main card, not on the pre-show, to be honest.
Yeah.
They possibly would have sold more pay-per-view buys. So I'm amazed they didn't have it on there. What I will say is, I think this match was so fun. It was not a bad match. Was it a 5-star match? Absolutely not.
Was it ever going to be?
No, it wasn't. But it was a good match. It was good. It was good. It was okay. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was entertainment. I was sports entertained.
Not engaging in this conversation. You continue.
Okay. I think it was the right business move.
Yeah, from a business point of view, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
My kids that do not give a shit about pro wrestling. Well, my elder son's starting to show a bit more interest again, but my youngest does not give 2 shits about pro wrestling.
Yeah,
he came in. He was like, "Dad, was the Rizzler on wrestling?"
Oh no! Yeah. You see, that's the thing. I get the appeal and I get what it is because it's very Gen Alpha stuff. This is the thing.
But this is also the other. Well, my son's a Gen Z, so. The fact that it crossed over into him is telling you something. But the other thing is, we had a conversation a few months ago on this very show where we argued that Logan Paul has not moved the needle with Gen Z.
Yeah.
Right? Because both my kids grew up on Logan Paul. And
it didn't affect them either way to watch the show.
They didn't give a shit. Did not give a shit. However, the Rizzler did.
Yeah. The Rizzler moved the needle.
Yeah.
God damn it, I hate my words. I hate that I'm speaking words right now. But no,
and look, shout out to QT Marshall as well. Like, he sold the shit out of this match.
Yeah,
did a really good job. And dude, he looks amazing.
Absolutely. And was it like AJ, right? The Boom guy,
Big Boom AJ.
Big Boom AJ. He had a broken foot for the match.
Yeah.
So
what a worker.
Full credit.
Old school worker.
Old school worker.
Like, he broke his foot and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, because that's what you do, because you don't want to get taken off the card.
Yeah. No, and apparently he's signed on to do more matches. So
yeah, that's cool. You see, that's a bit of a happy ending to the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, like we've been saying, like, we may think it's cringe, we may think it's stupid, but when it comes to wrestling, the only thing I don't like about it is you're taking wrestling and making it a little bit of a sideshow, which is what wrestling is.
I was going to say it originally was a sideshow.
It's what wrestling is, but the wrestler in me looks at that and goes, ugh.
Yeah.
But the person who likes being entertained looks at that and goes, ugh. But then goes, okay, but I understand the because it's for a reason. Just like Logan Paul, don't even get me fucking started on the Mike Tyson fight with Jake Paul. I will be here for hours. Because that was the biggest work in the fucking world.
I was going to say that I don't know who wrote that.
No, that was maybe it could have been David Arquette because it was that much like a wrestling promo and wrestling angle.
They did not stick the ending on it though.
No, did you see that there was a guy from overseas? He's like, I pay you $700 million to knock him out in 3 rounds.
Yeah,
like it was like, well, that would tell you the actual story because Tyson's not going in there and going. Yeah, he's knocking some shit out. But we're moving off track. And look, I can talk about Tyson and how bullshit that was for ages.
Well, look, there's something else I want to point out for Full Gear. As we are the Australian and New Zealand pro wrestling podcast, Downunder The Ring, there is one big piece of news that I actually haven't heard anybody talk about when it comes to Full Gear, and that is Australia and New Zealand clean sweeped Full Gear.
Yeah, the ANZ Triforce of Power absolutely ran the shop.
So we had Buddy Matthews win in a 4-way match. We had Jay White defeat Adam Page. And Adam Page is, he's on a tear at the moment.
Absolutely on a tear.
That's a big deal that Jay's finally getting to do some big things in AEW.
Do some shit, yeah.
Right? So hopefully this leads to big things for Jay because he is amazing.
Yeah.
And Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay.
Ooh, Kyle Fletcher. Hey.
Kyle Fletcher, yeah. You know?
Yeah, actually, I hear a real handsome person actually interviewed Kyle Fletcher.
And so did I.
Yeah, it was from a different podcast, but also Phid did too. And guys, you're about to hear that interview coming up in a moment. Do you have any words on the Triforce of Power other than the fact that it was awesome?
No, I just think it was awesome. I'm just stoked to see everybody doing really good things.
A bit of representation from this side of the world.
Yeah, and all of us killing it. All of them killing it. So shout outs to Buddy, Jay, and Kyle for
absolutely
having a successful run over the weekend. And hopefully it leads on to bigger things for all of them. Because Buddy, I would say, out of that 3, Buddy's the one that hasn't really had a chance to shine since he's been in AEW. He's always been a part of a crew. Yeah. And he's still part of that crew, but being able to stand on his own is going to be a big deal for him. Jay White also getting a chance. As a Kiwi, I'm always proud to see Jay doing cool things, or Kiwis doing cool things. Yeah. And Kyle Fletcher with his brand new haircut defeating Will.
Oh, well, you know what? Perfect send-off. Perfect time to transition into that. I'm actually going to just quickly use the elevator here, and maybe you could exit down through the stairs or out through the back door there. But right now, we're going to give you the interview that Phid did with Kyle Fletcher. Just push this button here, and we go...
Phid McAwesome here from Downunder The Ring, and we're joined by Aussie superstar from AEW, Kyle Fletcher. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Very good. Good to have out. That's not English. I'm sorry. It's very nice to be here. Thanks for having me. Wow.
First question. How's the new haircut going?
Oh, dude, I love it. I get up in the morning. I don't have to do nothing. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must be really looking forward to being able to perform in an arena here in Australia. Will this be your first Australian show of this size?
Yeah, absolutely. I've only ever done kind of the indies in Australia, so PWA was my mainstay. I haven't done bigger than a couple 100 people, so it's going to be a bit of a big step up for sure.
Yeah. So PWA, so you're based here in Sydney, were you?
Yes, I was. Yeah, I grew up in Sydney and I started training with PWA, so that was my main promotion.
Yeah. So it must be awesome for you seeing so many Aussies, like whether it be from PWA or whether it be from Adelaide or at the moment just doing amazing things at the moment in professional wrestling in general, like across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. When I got into wrestling back in 2013, I think there was 1, maybe 2 Australians that had ever kind of made it to the top level of pro wrestling. So for me back then, it was very hard to envisage how I get there, if that makes sense. So I think for like people in the same position that I was, being able to see 10 plus Australians in that top position and doing incredible, crazy things, multiple world champions, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's awesome for people like that. They can see that and go, it's achievable.
And as a New Zealander myself, it's not just the Aussies, it's the Kiwis up there as well.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's great all around. It's awesome.
Yeah. So you've had a very interesting last couple of months.
Of course.
I do have a question for you when it comes to the situation with that's going on at the moment with Will Ospreay.
Okay.
So my question being, come February 15th, here in Australia, Brisbane, do you have any concerns that coming over here, like, yes, it's going to be your home ground. You're going to have the advantage when it comes to the home territory and the fans. But in saying that, Will has a few key people like Henare and that are literally only a flight away. Are there any concerns there?
I mean, I wouldn't say they're concerns. I think Will would be very silly to think that he has more friends than I do. I have a whole family that at the drop of a hat will be there to back me up. So I'm not too stressed at all, mate. Not at all.
Yeah. I mean, even when it's a madman like Henare who could potentially be over there at any time.
Nah, dude, I'll drop that effort on his head. Real drop stat.
I mean, look, you don't have to be clean on this show. You can swear as much as you like.
Oh, fuck yeah. He's getting fucked up, dude. Let's go.
Bro, it's an Aussie podcast. You know how it is.
Hell yeah. I like it.
Yeah. So look, what are you most looking forward to with this Aussie show happening?
Dude, for me, it's kind of like bringing two of like my loves together, right? Like growing up in Australia, I love the country through and through. AEW, I love the company through and through. I love being a part of it. So it's really like two worlds of mine colliding. And I think that's probably going to be the coolest part. I get to wrestle for the company I love in front of the country that I love. It's going to be incredible. No words.
Yeah. And I mean, it must be special going from like sellout arenas in the States, sellout arenas in Japan to being able to do the same thing on your home territory.
Yeah, I can't describe it. I remember doing Wembley last year and thinking like, wow,
that must have
really
been
cool.
an experience.
Dude, in its own, a crazy experience. But like walking out there and thinking like, man, if I ever got to do this in Australia, because you had all these UK people on the show and it's like they're wrestling in their home country for the first time in a massive stadium. I'm like, man, if we could ever do this in Australia, it'd be the coolest thing in the world. And lo and behold, a year later, I'm sitting here talking about doing the same thing. It's going to be crazy.
Were you surprised when the show was announced?
I don't know if I would say surprise is the right word because I'd had that thought. I was like, man, we can really do this. I hope that we do this one day because it'd be cool. I heard it. There was like rumblings of it. I'm like, yes, let's do it. I'm excited. It was.
But I mean, cool. Like, you've been around the Australian wrestling scene. We've heard rumbles of every show under the sun coming to this country. So you never really know. Like we heard rumors of Elimination Chamber happening like months in advance, and everyone was still genuinely surprised when the announcement happened. But the same with AEW when we heard the rumors of a stadium show. I think there was also doubt, like a stadium. Nah, it's not going to be a stadium show. It's probably going to be an arena.
No, absolutely. No, I had the same thing, but it still didn't feel like surprise. It was more so like a fuck yeah, let's go. Like it was just excitement for me.
Yeah. Another question when it comes to the announcement, there was a lot of people that were announced as AEW coming to the home of this person, that person, and the other. There's a lot of names that were left off that list.
Yes, there were. I don't know how all the press works, to be honest. I think that's very much like a above my pay grade type thing. Yeah. Like, I think it was surprising to me. I think like there should have been if there are Australians left off, why would you not advertise that, right? Like, I think we all had that thought, but I mean, regardless, it's just crazy that it's going to happen. I think getting caught up in the little things like that is a bit it's a bit silly. I think just the fact that it's even happening it's like years ago I wouldn't have even expected anything like this to happen. So I'm just grateful and blessed that it is.
Yeah. So I just had a chat with Darby, who
Sure.
was just telling me that he's got zero interest in the independent wrestling scene.
Sure.
In his own time, he likes to spend his time skateboarding and whatnot, as you
Sounds about right.
understand. But you're someone who's come from the Australian indie scene.
Yeah.
Are you hoping when you get over here and you're over here for the big show, you're going to try and take in some indie stuff while you're here?
Oh, for sure, man. I think I have so many friends and so many people that I still talk to that are on the indies in Australia. So I think it would be whether or not I'm sure there will be shows happening around the time. Whether or not I get to go to the shows themselves, I just want to catch up with my friends more than anything. So I think, yeah, if I can get to a show, my schedule allows it, that'd be awesome. But otherwise, yeah, I'll just be catching up with mates.
Yeah, and what do you think's so special about Australia that is making so many superstars in the last 5 to 10 years? Like, there's just so many coming to the ranks now.
I think it's a lot of different things. I think coming up in the PWA school in Sydney, I think there was this, because we were so slept on for so long, there's this kind of like passion and drive that like, oh, we're going to absolutely show the world when we get the chance. So it's like for them, when that opportunity comes up, they're so prepared, they're over prepared that like nothing's going to stop them from stealing the show and like absolutely surpassing everyone's expectations. Because I think those opportunities weren't there for so long. And I think everyone that has been around understands that like they've lived through the period of time where like opportunities didn't happen for Australian wrestlers. So I think everyone kind of takes every opportunity as like the biggest thing in the world. And they're like, oh, we're going to absolutely smash this.
Amazing. Hey, Kyle, thank you so much for your time today. Really looking forward to seeing you in Brisbane in February. Once again, congratulations as a local, seeing an Australian do big things globally in this industry that we all love is just so cool. So,
oh, man, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see you in Feb.
Ooh, how did you get back so quick?
I just teleported. I just finished the interview. It's just the lighting.
Oh, he just left.
Yeah, he just left.
Okay. That's a good interview, though, guys. Thank you so much for listening to it. And we've got one more bit here to get into. So, our boy.
Well, we're talking about ANZ wrestling news on the global stage.
Hey, we haven't done that in a while.
Our boy Henare. Of course, he is currently IWGP Tag Team Champion, along with Great-O-Khan and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Congrats to Henare for winning that a couple of weeks ago. I've got a really funny story about that. He actually messaged me the day I got my nuts cut off. Right?
That's not what happens.
No, right? So I got a vasectomy a couple of weeks ago, and he messaged me, and he's talking away to me, and he's like, how are you doing, bro? You know, I heard blah, 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 and all that. Then I hopped on social media, and literally an hour beforehand, he'd won the titles. And I was like, bro, congrats. Why are you messaging me about my nuts when you could be online celebrating or out celebrating? He was like, oh, bro, my boy's nuts are more important than me winning the titles. No, congratulations.
Your nuts are more important than the championships. That's official.
But anyway, what is really interesting, what's happened in the last 24 hours, is the Young Bucks, the Bucks of Youth.
Yes.
Have challenged our boy Henare and Great-O-Khan for the Tag Team Championships at the, I can't even remember, what is it, Wrestle Destiny in Tokyo?
Yes.
Yeah, Wrestle Destiny in Tokyo. It's the day after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, especially considering right now they've got a massive tournament on for the Tag Team Championships. So what's going to happen at the end of that?
I hope they hold on to it then, until then.
I do as well. It'd be great to see the Bucks and our boy taking each other on. I'll buy that pay-per-view just to see that match.
1,000,000%.
Also, as Henare actually tweeted this afternoon, was, after this, how about I come to your turf and fight in Brisbane?
That awesome. So that's cool too, because that leads us down some good ways here, and maybe that's what we'll end up getting.
Yeah, well, that's what I personally, if I was going to book it, have the Bucks take the title, go back and be dickheads over in AEW, and
Yep.
then the fact that New Zealand's literally a 2-3 hour flight away from Brisbane.
Yep. It's close enough.
Hinade can fly over and take his titles back in Brisbane with Great Khan.
Just like every wrestling promotion ever that has a champion go interstate or overseas, take the belt overseas there, bro. And then you can lose to someone and then you can win it back before you come home.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
excellent.
But no, I really hope it'd be really cool. I'd love to see the boys in Brisbane as well. So hopefully it's where it leads to.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be really, really cool. That is it this week, right? Pretty good.
It's funny because we said it was going to be a heavy AEW show, which it was, but it was possibly even our heaviest ANZ wrestler news show
in a while. In a while. And that's crazy because we only spoke about two things. But hey, it was good. It's kind of, we've condensed it down this week, and that's good. The interview obviously is a bit of extra time in there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any final words there, Phid?
Look, if you're watching us at the moment on TikTok, let us know what you think in the chat right now. Because we'd really love to know what you guys think about us putting these live on TikTok as well. And if you're watching us or listening to us anywhere else, give us a rate and review and likes and shares and stuff like that, because it really helps. We're really thankful with the growth we've had in the last year and a half. And you guys as listeners are the ones that really push us forward, and those shares will just help us grow even more. And that's what we're really here for at the moment, is we want to do this as long as we can. And it's genuinely, for myself at least, one of my bright points of the week. I've worked hard all week, and then this is where I get to talk about my dumb passion of pro wrestling.
Exactly right. And hey, go ahead, tell your friends, tell your mum, tell your dog, tell your mum's dog, tell everybody that you can about Downunder the Ring, because we'd love to do this. We'd love to do it to more people. We'd love to open it up and do everybody. I'm still talking about the podcast. Thank you. No, it's still the podcast we're talking about. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Maybe you're doing both. Maybe you're not. And as always, we'll see you down under the ring.